In today's video, we got an interesting product sent to us by AirLock. It's their AirLock One. It's kind of like an odor control air purifier for your RV. It goes in your AC units. They also have standalone units if you want something like that. This company started in Florida, and I think they started originally with the marine industry, but they transferred over into RV as well, which I guess they kind of go hand in hand in some small spaces. Have a bunch of the odors from pet dander and cooking odors and bacteria, mold spores, all that stuff. This is supposed to help purify that out of the air. It's got that technology most of us aren't really going to care about. We're just going to care about if it works. But to sum it up, it's got bipolar ionization or something where you have two carbon brushes that stick out of this unit, and one's positively charged, one's negatively charged, and they mix with the moisture in the air and stuff like that. And then it'll create hydrogen and oxygen ions, which helps eliminate odors and everything. So that's kind of just summing it up. You can go on their website if you need to know more technology about it, but it's going to go up in the intake part of your air conditioner. If you have like the RVs with the traditional rooftop air conditioners, you can do it from inside or outside of your RV. You're just going to stick it in there. It comes with a magnetic mounting plate. If you want to use that, you can screw it in. It's got the 3M sticky. Try that as well. And then it just goes into the power of your control box that's in there. We're going to show you how to do that. It's got two wires, a positive and a negative, 120 to 240. We're going to hook ours, I believe, into the fan high. So we want it to only come on when the fan comes on, and we have our fan on high all the time. So it'll come on when that fan comes on. That way it's not running continuously. Now, when I talked to them about it, I was asking them questions. They said this unit will last about 2 to 3 years. I guess it depends on how much you're using it and stuff like that. You know, since we full-time RV, most of the time we might get the shorter end of that. We don't know. We'll let you guys know as we're going into it. And if you get one of these, they do have 180-day risk-free trial. So don't think you're going to get it and right away notice like, oh, my air's so much cleaner. You're going to be out one day for a few hours. You're going to come back. That first breath of air you take is because this smells a lot cleaner. That's when you're going to notice it. So that's why they give you the 180 days. You can decide, yes, it's for me. No, it's not for me. But I mean, if it does what it says it's going to do, and from what I've read and seen, it's going to do what it's supposed to do. So, and the only maintenance on this unit is every like 3 to 6 months, you're going to want to gently wipe off the brushes from the dust, the carbon fiber brushes, but you're going to want to make sure the power shut off before you go doing that. So flip your breaker to your AC unit. That'll shut the power off to those, and you can clean those off. Like I said, it's supposed to get rid of all that stuff. So let me show you what we get here. This is the unit. This is the RV lock. Comes in a box like this. And it's just that unit with the wiring, has the instructions. We'll show you that when we go inside to install it. We'll show you what comes in the box. Look, they even sent us a kind of a cool hat. That's pretty cool. And we do have 2 of them for both our ACs because we have 2 ACs in this unit. So we're going to install these. So we do want to thank AirLock for sending these to us for review. And all disclaimer, they did send it to us for review. We're going to give it an honest review. We'll put it in there. Give us some time, let you guys know if we smell a difference, because we are in the RV all the time, so we'll know. You got those cooking odors, pet odors, mold. The moisture's in here. I mean, we have dehumidifiers and stuff like that, but that's another question. Will the dehumidifier take up so much moisture out of the air that these are ineffective? We don't know. We run those during the winter times when there's more moisture, so we're going to give these a try. So let's get inside. We'll get ready to install this. I'll show you what comes in the box, and then we can get these things installed. All right, guys, let's show you what comes in the box before we'll get these installed. You can see this comes in this box, give you all the information on the back and stuff. We're just going to cut into this, get inside, see what comes in here. Like I said, it's supposed to be pretty simple items in there. The instructions, some warnings, things like that. This is our first time getting into it, so we're not sure. Bear with us here. Suction. There we go. As you can see, it's not a very big unit there. But it fits up in there nicely. Here's your cautions to tell you things to look out for. Talking about their 2-year warranties. Instructions on how to do it. You can use the barcode. They say a 90-day guarantee, but it's 180 days if you go to their website. It says it. You could check that out right there. Like I said, a little bit of their history. But this is the unit right here. And this is that magnetic mount I was telling you about. It sticks to the wall with the 3M sticky. And then you can just magnetize it right to the wall. You also have these mounts here, which you can just screw it in, which might be the way I do it because I want it to hang into the airflow. So I'll put this inside my plenum. The air will come up past them like that because otherwise it would have to mount like this straight up. I don't want that. So I'm going to use the screws right here. I'm just going to put them into there. It does come with a couple screws to mount that. So, and they're small enough so they're not going to poke through anything because usually that's like a 2x6 up in there. And that's it. That's literally everything in the box that comes. And then you have, like I mentioned, your two wires right here, your positive and negative. And they use the 120. So that's what we're going to use, the 120 from our control box with the fan high. You could hook it right into the power part of it if you wanted. There is the power that comes into your AC box. That's the 120. You can go right to that if you want, make it simpler on yourself, but it's going to run constantly, even when the AC is not running, which I think would be ineffective. So you can see the carbon fiber brushes right there. They're the ones you got to clean off every so often, but make sure the power's off. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to hook these in. Like I said, negative to negative, and this is going to go to our fan high right here because that's our positive to turn this thing on. There's supposed to be a, let's see if I don't know where it's at, but there's supposed to be a light on it right here. There'll be this light on it to let you know when it's on. I think it's purple or something. We'll see, but let's get up here and get this thing installed. All right, guys, we are out here at our unit. First thing you want to do is shut the power off to this AC unit. And then you're going to want to, after you do that, you take your filters out. Now's a good time to clean out all your filters if you need them. I mean, we have the aftermarket filters in ours. You can see the aftermarket stops a lot more dust. That's in ours, but still the screens underneath are a little dirty. We're going to clean those off before we put it all back together. Then when you get to this, ours is going to be, it might be a little different than yours because we have the RV air thing in here that just directs the air. So we're missing that other cover, but you're just going to take everything off to expose the screw or expose the inside. Trying to get you guys the best view I can. We'll get you closer up in here so you can see what we're dealing with up in here. All right. Now that we got that off, we can set that aside. You could, I don't know what you guys can see actually. We'll get you guys closer here in a second. Let's get you closer. All right, I'm sure I had you guys shaking there pretty good. Up in your unit, you're going to have this, which is your control box. We're going to want to bring that down because we're going to be wiring our unit up into there. And we're going to mount the unit right here. That's in the line of the airflow. Up on here, you'll see it right there. They're like at least ours. Ours was a Coleman Mach 15. You're going to take that, you just squeeze it and pull it right off. That whole unit will swing right down. Might be a good idea to take a picture of where the wires are. In case one comes off, you'll know where it goes. Because this is your thermostat wires. This is your Romex with the power. And this is the one for the top unit, like the compressor, the fan, and all that's going to be there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to undo these and swing that down. And then we'll show you what we do once we bring it down. All right, guys, we have our control box down. We just literally swung it down after we did it. And this is the back of your control box. If you pop that control box panel off, it's a panel. You're just going to pop it off. There's little tabs on the back. You guys will see them. You just pop it off like that. That will expose all your wires you're going to be dealing with inside this box. There's only two we're going to mess with on our particular unit. Like I mentioned, this is the Coleman Mach 15. So here are your power coming in like your 120 if you choose to hook it up that way where it runs all the time. And here are your ones to your top unit. What we're going to do, sorry for the lighting, I'm trying to, got a light mounted on my hat and everything, so hopefully it works for you guys. But what we're going to do is we're going to find the fan high, which we already know for our unit, it's the black wire coming out of this. And if you read on your board, it will say fan high. We're going to be using that wire because we want it to come on when the fan comes on high, or we always have ours on high. So when the fan comes on, we want the unit to come on. So that's what we're going to be dealing with in here. But you want to make sure, like I said, the power is off. You don't want to mess around in here. If you got power running, you could use a little tester if you got it, test for power. We know we got no power running here, so we're good. So now we can go ahead and mess around in here. We're going to wire up in here first, and then we could put it up in there. Then we will mount it. And we're probably going to replace, you guys can't see it that good, but the foil that's up in here, We're going to replace that while we're in here. So it's sticky and everything's like this hole. We want that plugged up. We don't want anything getting sucked out of there. So we're going to plug that hole up too. But what we're going to do in here, get you guys in there, is if you look at it, here's the black wire right here. We're just going to pull that black wire off. I'm not sure if you guys can see it there, but on the board, it says fan high. Right on the board. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but once you got yours off, you'll see it says fan high. That's the black one on the Coleman Mach. That's what we're going to tap into. I'm not a big fan of cutting my original wires, so I have the jumpers I'm going to use. I'll show you guys what they look like. That's going to allow us to still keep our original plug and get into it. If you guys can see this, if you guys can see it, it's just going to jump on there, and then it makes an extra leg. That's what that black wire is going to go back onto, and this is going to wire onto our unit. So we're going to mount this onto the wire. So we're going to have to cut the wires on the unit, but by doing that, we're putting this end on, and then the black wire can go onto this. It'll work out great. Let me show you on the AirLock. On the AirLock, you have the two wires. So you're going to be cut the end off of this one and this one in our case. We're going to cut the end off of that one. And that's what we're putting this on here. That'll be on there. And because this is the power side, and that black wire we pulled off in there will go on that spade on here. And then this one we're going to cut off. It's going to be bare wire, and we're going to put that into a Wago into the ground wire on this. So that'd be the bare copper one. We're just going to hook it into that with a three-way Wago. We have, because what's in there is a two. They have a two-way Wago. I was already using them. But we're going to go with the three so we can add it in. No cutting of wires. Just cutting the ends off of here. You might have to modify yours differently. You might have a board that takes these kind. You could use those. Or you can wire right into the power there if you want yours to run all the time. But we don't. We're going to run it into there. So let's get the wires cut and attached on here. We'll get this attached. And then we can get it hooked onto the board. Okay, what we're going to do, like I mentioned, is we're going to cut the ends off of here because we're wiring ours a little different. We don't need these type. You'll notice the positive wire does have a fuse in there. So if you have a problem, you could check your fuse. Pretty nice, I guess. So we're going to cut this up as close as we can get it. Like that. Pop that off. Strip our wire back. Like that. We'll put it into our connector. Then we will get that done. Give it a test tug. And then that terminal ends we use are marine grade, so they have the heat shrink on them. We're just going to shrink it. You can use a heat gun. I'm just using this micro torch. You guys can see that, right? Hopefully I'm in shot. And then we'll get that sealed up around there. It'll help hold it on, plus it seals the end up. There you go. And on this one, you guys can see it's got a little bit of the glue coming out because it is marine grade. So that one's done. Now we're going to cut the end off of this. We just need a bare wire here. We're not going to put any terminal end on that. We're going to strip this back a little so it can go in the Wago. And then when we hook it into the ground, this will just hook into the Wago. So that's all we need to do to this to get this mounted inside the control box. Hope you guys can see those. I'm on my dirty hands here. But yeah, right there, that's how we're going to do that. That's on ours. Like I said, yours may vary. You can decide which way you're hooking yours up, but I recommend doing it through the fan high. And then that way, only when your AC is running and pulling air through it will it turn on, which is the time you're going to want it to turn on. So, all right, let's get back up here to the unit and get this wire, show you how to wire this in. Oh, we're ready to set this back, or wire this up to set this up in here. But if you're by yourself, you're not going to be able to let your unit hang and wire this. So you can go and mount your unit first if you want. I might do that now since I am by myself. I'm going to remove this old foil and put new foil in, and then I can mount my unit right there. Remember, you can mount it a couple different ways. You can use the magnet, but I'm going to use just the screws so I can have it put in there the way I want it with the light shining down. I'll show you that when we get there. But I'm going to get all this stuff out so I have fresh clean in there, and I got everything sealed up. So it's a nice tight sealed area. I'm going to pull this stuff down. You guys can watch that if you want, or you could just do yours the way you want, but this is what we're using. We have the aluminum tape. We're using the 3M. This is cold weather. I guess it don't matter as long as it's aluminum tape in there. But that's what we're going to use to put back from where we just took it off and seal up these holes and everything. And then once we get this on there, we can mount our unit. So let me get this put on real quick. I don't think I need to show you guys that. Just peel the piece off, stick it on there. You're done. All right, when it comes to mounting your unit, you can see it's got the magnet on the back. So you can put it on like that. We want ours to face like this, so we have the little light shining down. So it's going to mount here like this. So we're going to use the screw holes on ours. You want nothing in the way of these, and you don't want any obstruction. So we're just going to mark this. You can see on the side they got the little spots for the screws. Just mark it, get your screw started. You can hang it right on there and tighten them down. Just take the magnet right off. We're not going to use that. And actually, this is the metal. These are the magnets. So we're not going to use the metal. We're just going to mount it up here, probably right about center. We're going by the hole here in our bracket. We're going to hang it right here in the center, and that's not going to be obstructed by anything, and it's going to do what it's supposed to do. So let's get that going. All right, guys, we have our 2 screws started in there. Now we're just going to hang our unit on there. And then try to make it as level as you can. It's slotted, so you can adjust a little. I know my hand's probably in your guys' way. Apologize for that. Get this started. And then we'll look for level here. That's looking decent. There we go. Now we have it mounted. Nothing's in the way of it. We're going to tidy up the wire once we get this all up in there. You can see that one's all done. We got the stuff replaced here. It looks nice in here. Everything's sealed back off. These holes are sealed up pretty good. So now we're going to get this thing wired in there. I'll get you guys closer so you can see what we do to do the wiring. And then you guys will know exactly, because I think that for most people that'd be the most stressful part. So let's get that going. All right, we got you guys. Hopefully enough light. In here, this is your power coming from your unit. That's why you got your yellow Romex. Now remember, make sure your power is off to these, because you don't want to do this while these are hot. We're going to bring right here the bare copper wire, which is the ground. That's the one we're going to want to put our three position waggle on it. If you guys need any of this type of stuff, I'll leave links to it down below. We're just going to pull this one off like that. Set it to the side. We're going to join these 2 in there, and then we're going to have a space left for our airlock. So yeah, we just, whoops, we want to make sure they're all strands are in there, because these waggles will work for multi-strand or solid. There we go. We got that one in there. There we go. Our solid's in there. Now this one here, that space we still have in this, is going to be for our ground wire we have right here. But we want to bring our wire in from somewhere. So we're going to drill a hole right here on this side, and it's going to come down through, and the wire's going to come over and in through here. I'll show you what that's going to look like right here. We're just going to drill a hole through that, and that's the bottom. This is the bottom of it when it's up in there, so nothing's going to fall in it or anything like that when you're doing it. So I have the biggest bit in my set. I'm just going to drill a hole in this corner. Here we go. Make a little mess. Wife will love that. But there we go. We have our hole in there. Perfect hole to bring our wires through. Right here, because you do have the fuse part here. So we're going to bring the fuse part in first so it fits through. Then we can bring the ground through it while it has room. And there we go. That comes in nicely. And then we're going to follow it around this corner like this. So it'll be underneath this stuff. The ground wire is going to go through the little hole here. I know I'm blocking part of your guys' light. The ground wire is going to go through there. Let me get over here so I get out of your guys' light, I think. It's hard to do that in these small areas. Then we're going to take this one, put it in the other side of that Wago. Like that. Close the clip. Shove that back in there. That part's ready to go. Now we're going to take this piece and we're going to mount it on our board first. And once we mount it on the board, we can get this black one onto it. So you're going to see your spade you took it off from. We're going to try to get this on there. Sometimes with these clips, you might have to spread them apart or something just to get them to fit better. But you do want them tight. So there we go. We got that one in the spot. Now this black one is just going to go on the little, I don't know if you guys can see that, the little piggy tail in there, the end of that we had. This is going to poke onto that. So you're definitely going to see this one. My fingers cover up everything in there. Here we go. And that's all there is to wiring it. It is pretty simple to wire it. Now we're going to put that back on there. And then we can shove this up in there and reroute the wires nicely. Just like that. Now we're going to put this back up in there. We'll get these wires all tidied up in there. And then we can turn this on. This should turn purple when it's running and on. And that lets you know you did it right. So let me get this box put back up in there. All right, guys, we got this mounted in here. Everything's nice and neat. We got our wires up in there. We got it zip tied over here in the corner. Everything's sealed up. So now we're going to go turn our unit on. And you guys should be able to see this little light right here going to turn purple when the unit kicks on. I'm going to go flip the breaker now. I got my light still shining for you guys. I'm going to flip the breaker now. This should come on and you should see this light up purple. So let me go run here and do this real quick. Keeping you guys running the whole time so you can see that it's going to turn on. I'm going to have to turn it down. Here we go. You guys should see it any second now. There we go. I see it from here. It lit up purple, which means she's running, doing what she's supposed to do. And there you have it. Gonna have some lot cleaner air. Hopefully get rid of some of these musty smells that you normally have in an RV or your boat, them enclosed spaces. Especially with like the mold or mildew or musty smells. You're gonna get rid of that. Hopefully with that. At least that's what it claims. We'll give you guys updates, but let me tidy this up and then we'll close this video out. There you have it, guys. The install of the AirLock into your RV. It's a pretty simple process, really. Gives you time to clean up in here too as you're taking it apart. And the wiring might scare most of you, but it is pretty simple. Shut the power off, 2 wires. You've seen how we showed you how we hooked it up. It's that simple. The board's even marked with fan high for us, so it worked out awesome, even though we knew what it was before that, but it is marked for you. Simple, easy tools you guys could have it in. We will keep you updated as to how this is doing for us. We're going to give it a few months. We'll do a follow-up video. Maybe we'll do a short in a month or so, see if we notice anything at that time and see how it's working for us. We do live in the RV almost full time, so you get a lot of the odors in there, so it's nice we'll see if this makes the difference. If you guys are interested in one of these or anything I use in the video, we'll leave links to it down below. If you are looking for one of these, make sure you use the code Jimmy2Tech at checkout. Save yourself a little money. Plus, they have holiday sales going on and stuff all the time, so make sure you check them out. And they do have standalone units if you don't want the one that goes in your AC. Even though they say this one's more efficient because it's right up in there where the air gets sucked in, it will work better. But they do have standalone stuff for marine and stuff like that, so make sure you check them out. And like I said, 180-day risk-free trial. There's no risk. Try it out. See if you like it. If you do, keep it. If not, send it back. Tell me you want your money back. It didn't quite work out, but I think it's going to work out great for us. So with that being said, guys, I want to thank you all for checking out the video. If it helped you out at all, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Click the bell notification down below. and then subscribe to the channel. We're trying to build the channel. A lot of you guys watching are not subscribed. Just, it doesn't hurt you at all. Just click the subscribe button. Makes us, let us know we're doing something. We can keep bringing you guys videos for whatever we're doing. Our channel is a little bit of everything. So with that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, try something new.